Welcome to Quack&Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed. So hit that subscribe button before time's up, and let's swing into Final Girl. Final Girl Season 2 is currently over on Kickstarter, and I believe is set to be the single most successful solo-only game ever launched on a crowdfunding platform. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what this game is to give you a good sense if it's going to be right for you and your gaming group or gaming table. And we're going to take a quick look in the second half of this video at the Kickstarter page to walk you through the 5 new modules and how they introduce brand new mechanics into your game system. Because this game is a modular game. Final Girl is a solo-only game built around the theme of the Final Girl trope. The last heroine taking down the villain as he's slaughtering innocent campers, or the poltergeist glowing through and haunting the little girl. In this game, you take the role of that heroine, doing your very best to conserve your time, play as efficiently as possible, roll some dice, possibly get lucky, search out and solve some weapons, and finally, solve, survive, and take down the hunter. Now, the base game of Final Girl is actually going to be just a component box. That box needs a module for you to play the game, and that's where the game starts to shine. If you end up backing this on Kickstarter at the full pledge level, you'll have 100 different unique combinations of girls, locations, and villains to play against. Here I have Season 1 spread out in front of me with the various different scenarios you can play. Each one of these boxes comes with a magnetized game board, which is going to introduce, if I can open it from the right side, which is going to introduce a brand new location, which comes with its own scenario, a brand new killer, which comes with its own conditions and challenges, and 2 brand new Final Girls with their preferred weapons and different styles of play, special abilities making every single one unique. The game revolves around a card market where you play action cards, exhausting your time, utilize whatever time you have left to play more efficiently and purchase some more powerful cards into your hand, then resolve the killer phase where they'll move across the game board, slaughtering innocent victims, wreaking havoc, and slowly coming after you, or coming after whatever their win condition is. Now, the puzzle of this game is going to be the combination of efficient card use, efficient time management, and mitigating the cascading failure, or the cascading escalating horror in the game, which I think fits very well. And that'll be done through a series of dice rolls, where you'll either roll a success, resulting in, well, a success on the card. You'll roll a double half card, requiring you to discard 2 cards from your hand, taking some actions that you might want to use in the future or stealing some time from you in order to turn this to a full success, or you'll get a straight failure, which oftentimes has bad consequences when it comes to the game state itself. Along with that, every single location will have its own environment. They'll have their own setup, unique with custom characters and other items around the board. They'll have their own events, and they'll have their own item deck, meaning that as you're searching and playing in the various different combinations, you're going to have different types of puzzles to solve. And the best part about this is every single system here is modular, meaning you can play any victim or any Final Girl with any killer at any location. And that's true going into Season 2 as well. The best part of Final Girl has to be how thematic and story-driven this game environment is. It really leans into the idea of the horror tropes and lets you play in a world where escalating failure, horror, some good dice rolls, some lucky items, and all that combines into an amazing thematic play experience. In fact, I'm getting set up to do a gameplay over on the main channel right now as we talk. But the worst part about Final Girl is going to be this cascading failure mechanic combined with sometimes a feeling of overt randomness. You can draw a card that nearly ends the game for you within the first few turns, and then you'll reset and re-explore. The opportunity for crazy, amazing, thematic things to happen also leads for the opportunity for horrible, horrific, and unfair things to happen in the game state. Since this is a solo game, that could lead to you wanting to fudge a dice roll here or there if it was the difference between you succeeding, and oftentimes that isn't fun in solo games. So, you have to decide for yourself. Do you want a rich thematic experience even if you don't always win, and sometimes the game works against you? Or do you want to stick with perfect information, pure strategy, and so maybe Final Girl won't be right for you? But that's not the only thing I want to talk about. I have the Kickstarter page pulled up here, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in this camera up top so we can take a close look at it. Here at Season 2, we're introducing 5 new scenarios. That means we're going to have 5 different creatures we're fighting against, 10 different final girls to play as, not including the bonus ones they've introduced, and 5 different locations to experience those hunts. So scrolling down, we talk about the modular game system. We look at the core box and the components that are going to be in that. Like I said, that comes standard. And then we first get to the very first expansion, which is going to be the Evolve Mirth. This is going to be an alien-style horror fantasy trope, introducing the idea of unlocking and locking doors, ejecting the alien from a space vent, and potentially doing your best to survive by getting an escape pod and blowing the ship up. If you like Alien, if you like Nemesis, this is going to be the game state that modifies or plays with that environment. Next, we have the Organism. The Organism is going to be the idea of sort of a creature in subterranean Antarctica. You are there as a pair of researchers, and you're doing your very best to get out of this alive, but you don't know who's infected. I'm trying to think of the trope that it attaches itself to. I know it, it's on the tip of my tongue. But in this version of the game, you're going to be doing your very best to not only sleuth out who's potentially infected, what victims you want to bring with you, who can actually survive the trip home, but you also have to venture out into the bitter frostbite in order to actually leave from the helicarrier. And so you have this mechanic where when do you venture out? When does the environment itself start working against you and start killing you? Next, we have the Intruders at Wingard Cottage, a knock at the door. This is going to be a scenario where you are a group of college students and a group of intruders are descending upon your, I believe, house. Kind of like if you think of The Purge when it comes to videos and that type of environment. In this system, it's going to emphasize the use of mechanics, the use of items. Take a kitchen knife and a baseball bat and make a more powerful weapon. If you like zombie flicks where you upgrade your gear throughout the course of the gameplay, this is going to be the scenario that really emphasizes that style of play. Finally, we have Big Bad Wolf. This is going to be a Little Red Riding Hood trope with an actual character that I adore, which is Red, which is probably going to be, and we have Gretel in here too. I love both of them. Here's the thing, this is going to deal with all of that mythical and magical curse and blessing that happens in fairy tales. You have this mysterious river with bridges that only you and one other victim can cross at a time, and you don't know what type of escalating consequences you're going to get from the magic of the forest. If you like fairy tales, if you like playing in a weird, wacky environment that twists your expectations, this is going to be the module you should get. And finally, we have the Ratchet Lady. The Ratchet Lady is going to be an asylum horror trope, digging into the idea of medical-grade research combined with insane individuals. This is a mixture that's going to spell trouble for you and your players. In this game system, depending on what type of injections you give yourself, you might have modifications that enhance, but also cause damage to you. Think of BioShock in a way. You're adding superpowers and also suffering the consequences of those. All of Season 1 is going to be available as well, and so far they're at $1.2 million on Kickstarter, which means they've resulted in unlocking a variety of special cards, a variety of final packs, a variety of deluxe upgraded tokens, and a giant storage system. That's the last thing I want to emphasize here. The game mats are amazing. I think you should grab them, but you should grab them here with this storage system because you're going to have a box that fits your Final Girl miniatures, your storage rolled mats in a cassette tray style storage system, and a big box, kind of like a trove chest, for every single module. So you pick and pull and plumb, you have it. And that's going to be Final Girl. For myself, I absolutely love this game. It's probably going to be one of the top 10 from this year that have actually arrived, and I am thrilled about it. I like a thematic solo adventure, but I totally understand those that see the randomness as the biggest kind of hit and miss that this game operates under. There is a lot of escalating failure, and if you don't like that type of puzzle, this probably won't be right for you. For myself, I'm diving completely into this, and I'm going to be bringing some gameplay here soon. Well, over to Quack&Co. So, thank you for watching. Let me know, are you backing Final Girl? Are you already all in? Have you decided to go with a few modules? Because let's be honest, you don't need them all right away. Or are you steering clear because horror, randomness, and solo play just aren't your combinations? Either way, that's been my 10 minutes, and I'll see you on the next one.